Trials is proudly sponsored by MQ.
Well, staying, as I said, with the road racing, we're going to move on to another one-make road series, and in this case it takes the form of Suzuki's SV 650 Cup. Only just started this season and they've had a fantastic response so far, up to 19 bikes on the grid. We catch up with them right now.
Yes, thanks Matt, and back in the pits we are at the Phakisa freeway looking at the new SV 650 Suzuki Cup. 19 bikes out there on the grid. This is the first year of the SV 650 Cup. Ideal sort of beginner's bike for racing. Not much work has to be done to them. Great prices, probably the cheapest way to go superbike racing in South Africa at present. And look at the turnout we've got. We've got a junior class, and the juniors tend to be up front, and then just behind them we've got the old bullies, should we say, and they're taking it a little bit easier but having their own dice at the back of the field. Right up front though we've got Nicholas Kershaw, Jacques van Wijngaard and Loerdre Spannenberg. That's a familiar name. And back in the commentary booth with me, Elaine. This is a great starter class for would-be superbike riders.
Yes, and it seems to be that these one-make series seem to be the rage around the world at the moment, and it's now catching on in South Africa. And it's lovely to see that Suzuki South Africa are also getting involved in racing at the grassroots level.
Very much so. Some of these guys pretty serious. So Nicholas Kershaw, who by the way rode in the 150 Cup, is out there dicing it out with Jacques van Wijngaard, who's leading at the moment, just ahead of Loerdre Spannenberg, Andre Neetling behind them, and then we've got Michael Harris dicing it out with Fritz Kraft. They really have tight racing in this class. Alexander Sassenberg there ahead of Claude Murray and Marco van Zwitzen. And guess what? Chris Havis, bike dealer from down the road in Randburg, he's got his work cut out. You know why, Elaine? He's got Michel Murray. You'll be interested in that.
Oh, yeah?
Right on his tail.
Go Michel.
Very much so. So come on Chris, you've got to hold the men up there. Look at number 41, the great style there as we go through. That's Dewald Brewer on that green bike. I think it's the teammate actually to Nicholas Kershaw who's dicing it up front at the moment with Jacques van Wijngaard. Van Wijngaard, just a little bit out of the saddle there. A few laps to go in this race, and that's a great feature that they're not too spread out. And it looks to me, I mean, like some of the old buddies are actually hanging on there and not letting the kids get away.
It does, Dave, but a sad fact is, well, a true fact in racing is that fortune favours the brave and the young.
Yeah, it looks like the young are doing it. It's happening in MotoGP as well. I don't know what this world is actually coming to. But this dice up front is starting to get a little bit interesting because Kershaw is starting to push hard and Jacques van Wijngaard realizes he's under pressure going into turn one. He takes a really late apex going in there. Not so sure for a bike like this, which doesn't have that much horsepower, is the way to go. But I'll tell you something, Kershaw has got him lined up, and then we see some of those ladies coming through there. Just behind Chris Harris, Michel Murray. Come on, Chris, do it for us. I know you're an old buddy, but I'm sure you can.
Come on, Michel, you can do it.
Great stuff.
She's catching him.
She certainly is. And then further down behind them, we see Johan Fourie just ahead of Jan Brewer. A lot of names that we see around in the track schools and that sort of thing. So it's good to see that they're able to get out there and do the thing with Suzuki SV 650 Cup. Get down to your local dealer if you want to come out and do some racing. Bike number 44 at the back of the field. That is a Nolan Pillay having a bit of a lonely ride there, Lane.
Well, you know, Dave, these riders are actually fairly close together, and I believe it's because, you know, they're not allowed to do much in terms of conversions on their motorbikes. So what they're allowed to do is the bodywork and the exhaust pipes, and everything else it just keeps it a very level playing field.
Very much so. Oh, look at this. Kershaw. Looks like Kershaw has got to the front of the field. There's the checkered flag out there. We're looking, yes, it's the last lap. Nicholas Kershaw will pick up the win ahead of Jacques van Wijngaard and Loerdre Spannenberg there in third place. Back to you, Matt, at the news desk.